Earlier, I've done a straight restoration of one of these old Hot Wheels Indy Eagle castings. This time around, I wanted to do something a little different, and I was searching around the internet and found something interesting. In 1968, Roger Penske purchased this Eagle from Dan Gurney's All-American Racers for Mark Donohue to compete in USAC events. This Eagle was Roger Penske's first USAC Indianapolis race car and the first Indy-type car that Mark Donohue drove. I thought it'd be kind of cool to try and recreate that and still keep it a Redline. So I searched around and found a cool decal set. I've had this sitting around for a while, but finally got around to working on it. This one's obviously pretty play-worn. It needed new glass. It has the cap style wheels. Check out the engine. Look how flexible. I couldn't believe how shot the plastic was on that. The engine's bad. It needed a replacement engine, needed replacement glass. Cleaned up the casting. That's after stripping it and pretty much not doing anything else at that point. It was nice and shiny. But it's not going to be a Spectraflame paint job. We'll get to that. But drilled it, tapped it, used the 172 size screws because, like all the early Hot Wheels, it has those really tiny posts. It has two posts, front and back. Metal body, metal base. Pretty standard for the early Hot Wheels. So I got the screws into it, and it's the one I restored earlier. I had a blast doing that, and so I knew I'd enjoy doing this one. So got it looking pretty good. The casting itself does have some casting lines on it. It does need to be cleaned up a little bit. And so, you hit it the usual way. I end up filing it, and you'll see here, I don't go too crazy. I do speed this section of the video up. It looks like, I always like the speeded up filing sections because it looks like I'm barely doing anything. But this is at like 5 times normal speed. So there's a ton of filing going on. It just looks like a single pass when it's actually a lot of passes. It's pretty funny. I like how it looks like the file is floating. But, did that, hit it with the buffing wheel on the Dremel tool and got it to this point. Hit it with the IPA just to clean it up. I like dipping them in the IPA just to clean any oils off of the casting, get it nice and clean and ready for paint. What I ended up using for the paint, I didn't go the exact color of the Penske Eagle. What I ended up doing was Deja Blue. It's the closest color I had on hand. And then after I put the decals on, I hit it with that Worth Clear that I absolutely love. The decals, I found this fantastic decal set a while back. And it's just been sitting around waiting for me to put it on the casting. So I was really looking forward to this. I just never got around to it. And so there you see, I've started putting on the decals at that point, and we'll do a little bit later here, and you'll see more. There's actually decals of the pinstriping that's on it. It's a fantastic set, so I loved putting these on. As far as the base goes, I just hit that with a buffing wheel, but one of the problems with the casting was a cracked back part of a cap. See it there? Part of that is cracked off. So I've never done this before. Usually I just put new axles on it and wheels, but I thought I've got from other castings I've worked on before, extras of these backing pads or whatever you want to call it, the backing of the cap style wheel. I have extras of those that are good sitting around from, prior castings. So I thought, well, let me just cut the tip off the axle, put that new backing piece on there, and crimp the end. It seemed like there was enough to work with, and as it turns out, there was. And because of how tight, if you've ever looked at these backing cap backs closely, it's a very small hole. It's a very snug fit. There's not a lot of looseness to it. So I figured it wouldn't take much crimping of the axle to get it to work. And that proved to be correct. It wasn't the easiest thing to crimp, especially when you're trying it with these, big fencing pliers that you see here. But it worked. Probably could have got away with probably could have got away with using smaller pliers, probably just a good set of needle nose pliers with, say, a flat area, closer towards the handle, there's flat areas. And probably could have crimped it just as well because it didn't seem like the axle needed all that much force to crimp it. I was surprised. I thought it would be tougher to crimp. And it crimped it enough to keep that in place, pretty much with that same kind of slop that the originals have. Then I just popped off the remaining caps that were on there because I was replacing all of those. I had replacement caps, as you see here, from Bright Vision. And this build is a combination of parts from a variety of sources. So like the caps are from Bright Vision, the replacement glass is from Second Chance Redlines. The replacement engine, I used a metal engine that you see there. That's from Second Chance as well. As you know, the metal engines don't fit all that great if you've tried these before. So it took some filing and stuff to get it in there. I did hit it with white paint, and then I paint this back fin, or whatever you want to call it, yellow. It is a different yellow than on the decals, but if you go back and you look at that original photo of the actual vehicle, it's a different yellow as well. It's very similar to the yellow I paint on that back wing. So that's it. I did clear coat the base as well after I had buffed it up really well. I didn't polish it up. I just, hit it with the buffing wheel on the Dremel and then clear coated it. Covered all the wheels. This is before I put the caps on and stuff. I had done that. The glass and interior pop together, and then those go into the casting. At that point, then I drop in the engine. I do wish the engines, at this point doing these, it's kind of tough for us to find parts, good replacement parts. We're fortunate that Second Chance produces those. And while the fit may not be, perfect, it's a lot better than nothing. And it's a lot better than trying to scratch build something. And Lord knows I'm not going to try and 3D print something for back there. So I was really happy with the look. Those metal pieces too, kind of like the hoods, if you bought replacement hoods, they're touchy. You got to be careful with them. And so it's great to do a restoration, but it's not going to survive a lot of play. So there you see it after I have it together. I like that I kept the red lines because I wanted it just to be a fancy red line. So here's the red line that I started with. Here you get to see a turntable shot of it. You just got to see it on the bench at the start. But, it's pretty play-worn. And there you see the broken back to the cap style wheels. It's great when the caps are all perfect and intact because cap style wheels are the easiest darn things to replace. But I thought, I did a straight restoration last time. Let's do something fancier this time. And so there you see where I started. And here you see how it ended up. I think it looks pretty cool. If you look closely, there's the pinstriping under the side of the windows. There's pinstriping back behind the Sunoco Chevy, where the engine compartment is. Back there, you see it alongside the yellow stripe. The decals are just fantastic for this. I put on, there you see like the Roger Penske and the Chevy logo there towards the front. And then you see the Pin Cam Racing to the left of the 12. Sunoco Eagle up there towards the front, towards the nose of the car. So all in all, I'm really happy with this build. I hope you like this. I thought about painting black on the engine openings. or on the exhaust out the headers there, just putting black dots or something like that. And then I looked at the photo of the back, and those pipes were clean. They were white. So I didn't. I thought, I'll leave it the way it is. So anyhow, there you have it. Hope you like this build. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. You know, all the YouTubey stuff. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there. Catch you in the next one.